I'm Dr. David Ajibade, founder and executive director of Brain and Body Foundation, and we've been doing a series on heart disease and how to prevent heart attacks and strokes. And today we're going to be talking about sunlight. Yes, sunlight and its relation to heart disease. You may be there wondering, like the people in the studio, they were like, what? What does sunlight have to do with heart disease? Does sunlight cause heart disease? Absolutely not. It's quite the contrary. We're going to talk about why it's important and hopefully point out a few things that will serve you. Sunlight and black skin. You think that because we people, those of us in Nigeria, many times we think that because we're in the tropics, we're near the equator, there's a lot of sunlight, we don't have winter and autumn, fall the way the Western world have. We think that we're safe, we're okay. But I'm going to point out a few things to say why that is not the case. And I went to the park a few weekends ago, and I was like just to exercise, and I was expecting that everybody I would see there would be like, almost top. The men would be topless for sure, at least some would be, and then the women would be at least some exposure, not for any other reason than because of what I know about the importance of the sun. And I was shocked when I got there to find nobody. Almost everybody was fully in their tops, t-shirts, or even long sleeve shirts, and long pants, some shorts. But there was very little exposure. And again, I'm not saying this because there should be exposure just for the heck of it, just to expose your figure. I'm saying this because sunlight is crucial for the formation of chemicals that help to protect the heart. One of those chemicals is vitamin D3. And the key way you get vitamin D3 is by prolonged exposure on a daily basis to the sun. And that's 30 minutes at least. In fact, what they recommend is that you strip, you strip down to your, baby suit and then be exposed. Of course, that's not feasible most of the time. But if you're exercising, you really should be able to expose yourself to a lot more. The reason why we have a disadvantage is that our skin has a lot of the pigment called melanin. Melanin tends to block out the sun's rays. So we even have more exposure. We need more exposure, more than 30 minutes to the sun. So the short time you have, if you're going to the park and you're exercising, I would say go expose a lot more of your body, of your skin, to the sunlight so that you can derive more from it. Obviously, that's not the only way you can get vitamin D3. You can get it from your food, and you can get it from specific supplements. And I'm going to point out too that vitamin D3 is some of the recommendations we are finding out is the standard recommendations of 800, 400 international units, 800 international units. Recent research is saying that that's way too low. And if you're a black person, that's way, way too low. Some are pointing out that almost 5,000 international units a day now as opposed to 800. So you want to do your own research. Find out for yourself if that is the case. But I can guarantee you, there's a good website to go to. It's called vitamindcouncil.org. vitamindcouncil.org, and you've got some of the top medical researchers in the field who are looking very, very seriously at this subject, and they're really trying to get out information about that. I'm going to point out, so one of the research that was studied on was they were comparing Australians and the Scottish people, so the Australians and the Scots, and they found out that there's significantly greater, more heart disease in the Scots than with Australia. And we think about the geography. Scotland is way up there in the northern hemisphere. Australia is way down there. Besides, a lot of Australians tend to go to the beach a lot and they're exposed to a lot of sunlight. Significantly different in terms of heart disease. And one of the key things they're pointing to is that these Australians are exposed more to the sun and therefore get more vitamin D3. Now, here's a quote from another researcher, Dr. Malinsky, and he says, there are not many, if any, known systems which can be used to restore cardiovascular endothelial cells, which is the inner lining of the cells. I'm going to start again. There are not many, if any, known systems which can be used to restore cardiovascular endothelial cells, which are already damaged. But vitamin D can do that. And you need high levels of vitamin D. This is a very inexpensive solution to repair, and I want to emphasize that word, repair the cardiovascular system, We don't have to develop a new drug, we already have it. And so he's pointing to vitamin D3. Again, this is a research in the University of Ohio, I believe is what he said. Another quote, Australians have a third the rate of heart disease as Scots, fewer deaths from heart attacks, strokes, heart failures, even after taking into account all known risk factors. So you want to pay attention to that. And so another segment, we're going to talk about nitric oxide, because nitric oxide, again, is very important for healing of the cells and healing of the cardiovascular system. We now know that sunlight not only triggers the formation of vitamin D3 in your body, but it also triggers the formation of nitric oxide, which has been termed the miracle molecule. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about the miracle molecule soon.
Take that hand again.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
So stay tuned. We'll be talking about nitric oxide, the miracle molecule, in another segment. Thanks.